Hey guys, how you going? Thanks a lot for joining me again on the Financial Management for Small Business course. Just to recap, in our previous training, we talked about income, profits, sales and cash flow, and why we should really be on top of our finances as a business owner. Some of us might cringe when we hear the words bookkeeping, accounts, numbers or financials, but never fear, this is a jargon-free zone and I'm going to step you through it step by step. So getting straight into session 2, we're going to be talking about cloud accounting software. There are a number of cloud accounting software solutions around these days. But at the end of this session, you'll realize how easy it is to use and to access these systems and the actual benefits of investing the time and money in to get this sort of stuff up and running in your business if you haven't already. You can also change from what you already have in place in terms of your record keeping, and it needn't be a time-consuming sort of exercise, and we're going to sort of bust some myths around the confusion and frustration around bookkeeping that some people might experience. So there's a number of solutions there to help you streamline your record keeping without spending hours of time cooking the books. This is just a disclaimer that the information provided in this presentation is general in nature only and does not constitute financial advice. So the 3 different software programs that I'm just going to run through today are ones that I'm familiar with. There are quite a number of others out in the market today, but the 3 that I'm going to talk about today are XERO and Quickbooks, which have come into the Australian market quite heavily in the last few years. And then we have the 2 major players, which are XERO and MYOB. And just wanted to let you know that I don't actually, I'm not endorsed by any of these companies. I'm not promoting anyone's solution. I don't get paid to promote them. It's just the platforms that I've been familiar with over the years. And as you may or may not know, MYOB has been around since the 90s. When I did my TAFE degree in the early 2000s, we did a whole year on MYOB for my advanced diploma of accounting. And these days we have AccountRight. We also have Essentials, MYOB Essentials. AccountRight is like the old desktop software that went to cloud in the last probably 5 or 10 years. And it's been updated and improved. You can still save it as a file on your PC. MYOB Essentials is a purely cloud-based platform and was basically MYOB's answer when XERO came on the scene maybe 8 to 10 years ago. I'm not a fan of MYOB Essentials personally, and I'm not going to be going through the functionality of any of that today. But QuickBooks was previously known as Quicken, and they rebranded in the late 90s, and they've been predominantly more active in the US, and they came into the Aussie market in the last few years. XERO has become extremely popular in the last 5 years, and it overtook the market leader MYOB. Why? Is it a better program? I personally, again, don't believe it is. I think MYOB tends to be in some ways a better product. It's just that XERO has marketed and sold itself in a better way than MYOB. That's kind of my take on it. But again, all of these softwares have their their good and bad elements to them. They're all good in a lot of ways. They're all, because obviously humans have created them. So there's going to be some faults there in all of them. But, the best marketer wins on a lot of this stuff. So, which program do you pick? I'm not here to sell you one product. However, my experience is with these MYOB for probably the last 20 years. I've been using MYOB and more, and I've used XERO for probably about the last 4. So once you've found, like a trustworthy bookkeeper or accountant, which everyone needs in their business, then I would suggest that you go with what they recommend and what they can kind of like teach you to use as well without too much hassle. XERO, Reckon One, MYOB, Quicken, Sage One, IPA Books. These are all small business accounting softwares that are freely available on the market, and they're the top few that I'm aware of. So maybe do some research yourself and get some advice on that. They all have automatic bank feed transactions coming into the software. They all have bank reconciling functionality, and they all do invoicing, which is what we all want in our small business. So what are the kind of major benefits of having cloud accounting software in your business? The old desktop versions of MYOB and Reckon are being phased out, and you probably can't get those anymore. So a subscription-based cloud will soon be, it's the only way to go now. So, a couple of the key benefits are that, you've got real-time collaboration with your advisor or your bookkeeper. So you can log in, they can log in, they can see what's happening in your business accounts at any time, and they can advise you accordingly. You can link bank feeds to the software, as I said, where transactions come in automatically. And the collaboration on it means that it's not just you that can access it, or it's not the fact that you have to just be on one computer. You can access it from anywhere, anytime, even if you're on holiday overseas. So the second sort of benefit is real-time data. You can actually access it at a touch of a button at any given time, who owes you money, who you owe money to, and you can retrieve a profit and loss statement or report for the week, the month, or the quarter, and you keep up to date more often with your record keeping, with a bit of less stress involved there. I think the third benefit is that you can get paid quicker. The old style way of doing invoices was, we've had computers for a long time now, but many people were still using manual invoicing, or having to actually have a computer right, in front of them. But, this software now makes it possible to do an invoice on your phone. Think about if you've had a tradie or electrician or a plumber out to your house recently. Lots of times they can give you an invoice and take your payment on the spot on a tablet or a phone, because they've got this sort of software linked to it. So, there's no excuse to not have invoices being sent out in a timely manner. And it's also going to save you time. There's no time wasting on manual data entry anymore. Transactions come from the bank straight into the software, and all you have to do is allocate where you want that expense or that income to go, on what account you want it to go to. But also, in having said that, you've got to make sure that it's set up properly in the first place. It'll save you time, but if you haven't set all of the things up first properly in the first place, then it's not going to save you time. So we need to make sure that we either do it. If we're savvy with bookkeeping, we do it ourselves. If we're not, then let's engage a bookkeeper and accountant to help set up all of our accounts and all of our invoice settings and our payroll and things like that, because it's too costly to get those things fixed up later on if we do make a mistake. So it will save you time as long as you've set it up properly in the first place. Now, I just want to address this sort of thing here. I know that there's probably some people out there who've got really small businesses and they just say, well, I just need Excel, or I just do paperwork. But the problem with this sort of record keeping is that there's no reconciling of a bank account unless you set up some complex formulas, which most people are not kind of trained in. Even if you are Excel or calculator savvy, there's so much room for human error in this sort of stuff. There's, Excel can add totals for you, but if you miss entering a receipt, or you miss entering a transaction, or you accidentally get a formula wrong, then it's not going to work properly. So Excel's okay if you're very, very small, but once you start to get more and more transactions going in and out of your bank account, a software program is a much better option. You don't want to miss anything like a deduction. You don't want to miss any income, especially if you're then registered for GST and you have to start tracking all of that. There's no excuse not to have a software program. So firstly, we're just going to start cover off quickly on QuickBooks. As I mentioned, this is a 100% online platform. We just need to create an account, a username and a password, and then we can log in from anywhere at any time. QuickBooks offers a 30-day free trial, so you can sort of muck around and play with the software before you actually commit to it, and you can cancel the program at any time on your monthly subscription. And QuickBooks is really accessible. You know, it starts from around $10 a month. Which even includes payroll. You know, it's a really accessible sort of user-friendly software. And again, you can get your bank feeds coming in, so you have to register your bank account, connect for the bank feeds coming in. You can manually import transactions if you need to, and then you just review them and allocate them to the correct account. It's also single touch payroll compliant, where, you know, we have to now report all of the wages that we pay employees in our business directly to the ATO. And so that has that functionality as well. And also has integration with 500 plus apps too that we might want to connect. And invoicing, you know, in QuickBooks is really easy. You just have to set up, put your logo in, set it up. And it will have, it also connects with payment gateways such as PayPal or Stripe, the two that I know of. So QuickBooks, you know, is a really good entry-level option for people that perhaps are thinking about, you know, going from Excel or paperwork into a program. I'm a big believer that no matter, you know, how big or small your business is, I think you need software just to make sure that, you know, you're keeping yourself accountable to keep your records up to date. So XERO, again, this is a 100% online platform, and again, you can just go and sign up. XERO, it sort of partners up with accountants as well, and you might want to speak to your accountant about getting some sort of, sometimes XERO put out 3 months at half price, things like that. And XERO sort of starts from $25 a month, which is their entry level, you know, product, but it's got limited functionality on the $25 plan. Most people would go up to the kind of like $50 a month plan. So we're talking about $600 a year, whereas QuickBooks 10 to 20, you know, it's sort of about half that. But XERO certainly has a lot more reporting functionality, and you know, it's more widely used, I suppose, especially in Australia. Again, you can you know, you can connect your bank feeds. You just have to make sure that you authorize whatever bank you have for the transactions to be coming straight in. And it's also single touch payroll compliant and feeding that information directly to the ATO, and it integrates with 800 plus apps. It's extremely popular. XERO also has a super stream functionality where you can report, again, directly if you employ people, you report superannuation payments straight to the tax department, and direct debits come straight out of your account. So XERO is a good option for sort of the next level if your business is starting to grow a bit and you need a little bit more functionality and access. And most accountants and bookkeepers use this software. It's very, very popular, and you'll certainly be able to find some good training. And they have a whole suite of training videos. You can become a XERO trained certified consultant and things like that. There's a big online course you can do for that. So that's XERO. And the last one we're going to look at today is MYOB. I quite like MYOB. Again, it's probably because I'm used to it. It may have some functionality. This is MYOB Account Right, by the way. We're not talking about MYOB Essentials, just in case some people might get that confused. You know, it's got some really, really good functionality. I find it quite easy to navigate. Some of the reports are possibly getting a little old now and maybe need some updating, but again, that's just my personal opinion. And MYOB starts from around the same as XERO, about $24, $25 a month, but you'll get limited functionality at that level. Again, MYOB will be getting up to around the $45 to $55 a month mark. And all of these softwares, even Xero, you know, you can pay up to sort of $70, $80, $90, $100 a month, because especially if you're starting to get into we're talking about bigger businesses that have, you know, 10, 20 staff. It's the more staff that you have and the more users that you have is the more that you pay. And that's how these subscription-based accounting softwares work. So MYOB, again, you know, has bank feeds coming in, connecting it to your bank, and makes it easy because you don't have to enter the data in manually. And it's also single touch payroll compliant, SuperStream compliant, and integrates with about 500 plus other apps as well. And you can send out invoices. You can also connect again to payment providers like PayPal, Stripe, Square, etc. And MYOB even has, you can even connect up now with some of the supply invoices coming in. So some of the big players like Bunnings and Telstra and things like that are connected to MYOB, and they can, instead of entering in the invoices you owe those people manually, they come straight in through email and go straight into the software, and there's no double entry, no double handling of entries. So that's a good option as well. So today I want us to leave you with just some advice. You know, it's important to seek professional help and advice, I believe. I can't really emphasize this point strongly enough. If you struggle with bookkeeping and record keeping in your business, if you hate the thought of doing your own books, then please don't do it. I've seen, you know, employ a bookkeeper or an accountant to do it for you, because the cost associated with this, many people will say, you know, it's going to cost too much to get an accountant bookkeeper to do it. It's going to far outweigh the benefits, and it's going to take a burden from your shoulders. I've seen so many business people get this part of their business wrong. I've seen them set up incorrect programs, have bad data entry, and then they're just having to pay through the nose to get it all fixed up. So that they've got some sort of clean data that's able to be used for reporting. In our next session, we are going to be talking about, you know, extracting reports, profit and losses and things like that, and how we decipher those. And it's, you know, again, it's important to have the right data going in so that we get the right data coming out. And many times I've heard business people say, oh, but I want to keep my hand on, you know, my finger on the pulse. That's why I do my own bookkeeping, because I feel like I can, you know, I've got my hand in the books. But my answer to that is, this is not the way that you keep on top of your finances. The way that you keep on top of your finances is to get a professional to do it for you. And then we can extract the reports, the clean data that's been put in by them, and we can keep our finger on the pulse in our business by, you know, looking at those reports regularly and having management meetings with our advisor, our coach or our consultant or our accountant, to see actually how our business is doing. So it's just a point of, you know, stick to what you're good at. I don't go and, you know, fix my own car. I get a mechanic to do that for me, because that's not my area of expertise. I don't concrete my own driveway. And so I really, really stress the importance of seeking professional help on advice in this area. And, you know, the secret to getting ahead is getting sorted. Mark Twain said that. And that's the thing in business. If we are getting our books sorted, we do have, you know, anything, it's just like anything in life. If we've got a messy desk, a messy house, we kind of have a messy brain, you know, we get a bit of brain fog set in. And when we get our business books or business finances sorted, it helps us to get ahead in other areas. It helps to take a burden or a worry off of us about the fact that perhaps that side of our business is not in check. So I really want to encourage you to get your business book sorted, and it will help you get ahead in business. So thanks for listening in today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next session. Thanks so much.